Good morning, everybody. Crew Socks Aviator is here. We are here at a special Sunday edition of the stream, heading from Memphis to Dallas-Fort Worth in the Northwest 5242 flight, which is an A319. I've been working on my audio here a little bit, and I had it all the way turned up last time, but the problem I found with that is you can hear all my keyboard clicking and my typing, and I just haven't found a real happy medium. So if it annoys you guys so very much, let me know. It's obviously in the comments. And certainly stick around for a couple minutes and enjoy the flight with me. It's about an hour and 20-minute flight once we actually get up in the air and start moving. I don't expect it to take more than 30 minutes. What we will do is, it's a pretty easy setup. I don't have much planned beyond the departure and then basically a direct to the arrival point. I will be doing this on VATSIM, but we'll have to get all that set up. Again, you'll be a part of it because you'll be in the cockpit with me. This is Crew Socks Aviator on Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. Let's get started.
Clear prop.
So here we are live in the cockpit. Let me go ahead and get the chat room running, which we do. It is good to go. And what we're going to do is, I have done absolutely no preparation because I was lazy and I woke up late. So you guys get to be a part of all the cockpit preparation. I do have the sim brief stuff done. I do know my routing. I do know what to sort of expect. But we'll go ahead and check the weather together. Nice rhyme. We'll go ahead and check the weather together so that we can take a look and figure out whether we're landing south, departing north, that sort of thing. Any good pilot would want to do that. So let me get our AviTab running here. And I'm very happy. My frame rate is running much better today. Yesterday was just a crawl. I would get in the Toliss and it would be 20, 24 frames. And I was like, guys, I'm trying to stream it at 30. And so I was like, well, that's weird, but okay. Then when I actually started streaming, it started dropping every single frame. Every frame. Okay, so not every other frame. And I kid you not, I had about 50% of my frames dropped within like a 5-minute period. And the weird thing about it was, as long as I was just sending the intro screen and nothing else, it didn't care. It was like, that's cool, no problem, we can keep up with that. But anytime we tried to do anything beyond that, anytime I tried to switch over, go live, talk to you, and then you guys see what we're doing, that's when it was like, nope, sorry, can't do it, not allowed. And that's when it would start dropping frames like nobody's business. So I do not know what the major issue there was, what the major malfunction was. I do believe that Charlotte, the airport, is just not a good airport for me to fly into. For some reason, it just gums up the system. I did find that Charlotte itself, when I was departing, I saw 2 gates, and I feel dumb now, but I thought it's one of those heavy gates that I accidentally spawned at, where you could have 2 jetways. But then I realized, no, every gate had 2 jetways. So then I realized my scenery was just screwed up. And then I went back, I deleted that scenery completely because I have the world gates, the world jetways installed. So technically I don't need a jetways. So I deleted the scenery just to see if that would make a difference, and sure enough it did. I got back up to my normal 30 to 40 frames a second on the ground. And mind you, this was with active sky, full overcast cloud layers and multiple cloud layers built upon me. So I knew it wasn't necessarily a computer issue. It was, but I knew what my computer was capable of. I just knew that it was being tasked to do more than it needed to, and that was creating issues with it being able to process. See, the way I've got this set up is, as I continue to talk instead of actually work, under Memphis departure, we've got that, so I can actually close out of that. Okay. How I actually work it is, some people use their graphics card to actually do all the exporting for video. Okay, they use that to stream. I do not. Instead, I used my graphics card to run all the graphics, and then I got a CPU that was capable of handling just the normal daily tasks, plus streaming outward. And it's done fantastic. I mean, absolutely flawless victory, right? Mortal Kombat. And it not being able to put out enough frames per second, basically the bit rate, since it wasn't able to do that, I knew something was funky dactyl about it. It was not normal. And anyone who owns a computer for more than like 5 minutes can, they kind of figure that out. They know. Is it just me, or does this seem blurry this morning? I don't know. Interesting. Memphis DFW, excuse me. All right, back up to the top of DFW. We actually got to pull up. Go back. It'd be nice if they would actually like pull current METAR information for the airports and this. I really think we're going to be landing south. That's my personal take on it. So let's go ahead and get my approach charts, and we're going to be doing the RNAV 17. No, let's do an ILS 17 center. Let's do ILS 17 center. See, Cat 2, Cat 3, just in case. Bam, shakalaka wakadaka. Okay, goes to Bossy, Penny, Zing, Jiffy. Again, I just feel like these are blurry this morning. Do you guys feel that way? Normally this is crystal clear, beautiful. I don't know. Odd. Okay, so I got the charts. Let me pop into a new screen here real quick, guys. And I do apologize. I'm gonna have to look up the weather real quick for my departure airport. My arrival airport. So Memphis is reporting wind 190 at 9. 10 statute miles of visibility. Few clouds at 2,100. Scattered clouds at 2,000. Scattered clouds at 5,000. Temperature 262.20. Altimeter 3002. Not too bad. So we got a southern wind, which is fairly stiff, 9 knots. We'll go ahead and take runway 18 center, which that's the runway we are closest to. That's the one we're going to depart on. So we shall make note of that. 18 center for departure in Memphis. Now, Dallas-Fort Worth. What are you doing? You got some scattered clouds around you. I know you had a front go through yesterday. We had crazy overcast clouds there. Let's see what we're doing today. 180 at 13. That's our wind. Wow. Okay, definitely landing south. 10 statute miles of visibility. Scattered clouds 4,100. Broken. This is our first overcast layer. Broken 18,000, which is 18,000 feet. Overcast 30,000, 30,000 feet. Wow, that's a high level of overcast cloud. Temperature 27, dew point 23, altimeter 2986. All right, let's see. Time now, Zulu is 1541. So my TAF, this is about an hour long flight, hour and a half, so long flight. There's no major changes between 15-hour and 18-hour broken cloud layer at 2,500. So it expects a broken cloud layer to form just a little bit lower than the current scattered cloud layer, and that's about it. They do not expect anything more significant until 1900 Zulu. So I'm not going to worry about that. We'll go back up to Memphis. We'll check out its TAF. It really shouldn't matter. The METAR is really what we're looking at as a departure airport. But if we're going to say anything significant, nope, nothing significant. Between 15 and 1800, which is the window we're definitely departing from, 1909 knots, greater than 6 miles of visibility. So nothing significant to worry about. It seems like that's going to be pretty standard for most of the morning here. So that's what we're going to do. So recap, we are departing Memphis at 18 center and departing arriving Dallas-Fort Worth, most likely 17 center. See, I know I have to go to the other screen, and I do apologize because then we get stuck looking at one little thing. I will try my dangest to kind of put us back in this view, or maybe at least pop out here and do this when I have to go to another screen, because guys, you cannot want to stare at a small tab screen for 5 minutes while I'm looking through some other information. I can imagine that's so frustrating for you guys, and I do apologize. But at least now we know what we need to do, and we know what we are doing for our departure. So we'll come back to our Avi tab. Why? Because, well, I love it, but mostly because I want to get the chart. So our chart is going to be Memphis to Dallas-Fort Worth. And the one thing I noticed is that the Toliss A319, if you put it in, I've got to, maybe someone in the comments can actually help me, because I have not had time to look at how I set up a custom airframe, you know, putting in the landing, the zero fuel weight and operating empty weight and all that good jazz. I'm not sure how to necessarily do that, or what I'm looking for, and how I can modify it, because as you'll see when I go to the ISCS menu and I try to put in 57,000 kilos as a zero fuel weight, it'll tell me I'm over CG. It'll tell me I'm overweight. And I'm not 100% sure how to fix it. So what I do is I go to the nearest one that's, not, again, I don't know what's with me. There's some burps there. I'm sorry, guys. I go to the nearest amount that's not over CG, and I go from there, and it gives me the same profile, same climb ability and cruise altitude and all that good jazz. But that's not proper. I don't like it. So I'd love the feedback. I would love for someone to take a minute and say, hey, don't be stupid, and here's how it works. So I'd appreciate that sort of constructive feedback. That would make the stream better, and the experience that I have and that you have better. So we are actually not 5232. The day has changed. We're going to be 5242, but everything else will remain the same. We are at A319 with a full load. We will be landing runway 17 center at Dallas-Fort Worth with a flaps of 4. Dallas-Fort Worth is at 607 feet. Memphis is 341, with our alternative being little old Houston down there at 96 feet. Total distance about 439 nautical miles. The route given by the dispatch is the Childer 4 and SWA Direct Few Burgee 3 arrival, which I know is actually going to be the Stav 4 arrival, I believe. And that's because we're going to be landing southbound. So we'll need to make sure that we put that in correctly so that we don't mess it up. We are still planning flight level 360. Wind is still about 208 at 3.3. It's a little lighter, if I'm not mistaken, at that flight level right now. Temperature, I cannot decide whether I want to say negative or minus, and that is where I sound like an idiot. Minus 51, and there is no flight level change, so there is no step climbing. 360 is where we're going to end today. Fuel on board is 6,600. Really important to pay attention to, once again, is that zero fuel weight, guys. That's what we're really looking at, zero fuel weight of 57.4. Again, I'm not going to be able to set it up exactly that way, but we will cross that bridge when it comes to it. What we're really looking for, and what I look for, is what's my landing gross weight. Where am I at when I land, and where am I at when I take off? Am I similar in weight? Because if so, that means my performance is going to be about the same. This is a simulation. It's not going to be perfect. Total loadout for our fuel is 6,800 pounds. That's going to include not only the en route burn, but the contingency hold, the alternative, and the FAR reserve as required by law. So that means our minimum takeoff is 6,600. They added an extra 200 for our planned taxi out, and that makes it 6,800 kilograms of fuel. Planned arrival fuel is 3.5. We'll see how that mends with what we actually get on our flights, especially with my particular profile, where I fly 280 all the way up to flight level 360, and then buck in decimal 80 in our cruise. Our takeoff, they're expecting at this time when I did it originally, it was 210 at 12, but that is just obviously not correct. We have much lighter wind today. Altimeter is completely different, but what really does matter is we're still doing a 1 degree plus flaps. 18 center is our departure. What really matters is our arrival is 4 degrees of flap 4 setting for one-way 17 center with a gross weight of 65.6. That's what matters in this brief. Alright, so now that we've briefed, let's actually set this bad boy up. We're going to go to our Toliss menu here at the top, and we're going to go to our loading performance. So let's move this over. There we go. Alright, I want to be able to see. Alright, so we'll see what we're talking about. So you notice here, if I was to try to go to 57.4, it just goes way above. See? Can't do it. So I'm going to put it just below. I'm going to apply those load settings. I'm going to go 6.8. Add that in there. And what's my zero fuel? 56. Okay, that's fine. Zero fuel weight CG. Cool. 29.5. We will need to remember these numbers when we get on the MCDU to set everything up. So what I've found through playing is if I put it just here, like just below, it gives me the appropriate performance. It gives me just about what I need. Is it perfect? No. Is it correct? No. Do I like it? No. I just don't know how to do the sim brief stuff to change it. So any help there, I'd totally appreciate any insight you may have. Alright, so let's keep rocking and rolling here. So close this out. Make sure I do this for good measure. And we'll close that out. I hope everybody remembered what our CG was. 29 point something. Because I don't. I literally just looked at it. 29.5. Okay. So our GPS is in there. So let's go ahead and go to our initialization page. We are going from Kilo Mike, Echo Mike, to Kilo Delta Foxtrot Whiskey KDFW. Our flight number today is going to be, I'm so happy, Northwest 5242. Okay, cost index is 55. And cruise was 360, right? Perfect. We'll move to the next step. Our zero fuel weight planned was supposed to be 57.4. That's not what we got. So we'll bring up our ISCS one more time. Slide this bad boy over. We'll put it in 56.8 with 29.5. See, I'm glad I wrote it down, right guys? No, I didn't write it down. Block fuel is 6.8 as shown before. Whoops, wrong button. Takeoff weight is 63.4. Landing weight is 61.0. Do you remember what we saw here? Let's pop this out so you can see. Takeoff weight 64.0. Let's just call it 64.1. This is going to be 63.4. So we're a little lighter, but not by much. Not a whole gigantic amount. Landing weight 60.9. Let's call it 61. 61. So that means we're going to get about the same efficiency and performance out of this aircraft as we're expecting. Another way that I'm going to correlate this is if I were to actually go in here, let me go to my flight plan. Whoops, performance, excuse me, initialization. Jeez, I don't know what I'm doing. And I put in my flight plan, which is, let's see, did I actually save this one? No, dang it, I got to do it by hand. Okay, so if we put in our flight plan, Memphis, we're departing runway 18 center. We are heading out on the Childer 4 departure with the ANSWA transition, and we're going to apply that temporary. Going to come over here, and we're going to go to DFW because we are literally not doing anything else except for that arrival. So we're going to go ILS 17 center. We are going via the, not Burgee, we are going via the Seaver 4. Bossy, which is the initial approach fix for the actual ILS, and then Few is my transition onto the actual arrival. Insert that temporary flight plan, and we're going to look for discons. In this case, we have one in between few and answer. And we're looking for more. Bougie Nas Yabbit the Rabbit. And there's another one. Oh, I got to do the manual first. Sorry, guys. And then I can come back down. Oops. Up, I mean. Because I know what I'm doing. And do the flight plan discon there. Now we're set in gravy. One thing I do to double check this is what is my performance? What's my optimal performance? What does SimBrief set for my cruise, and what does my MCDU say I can do? They equal out about the same. So I'm very happy with that. I am fine with this. This is good. So I know that I'm going to get about the same performance I'm expecting out of this aircraft. All right, so now that we've got all that set up, let's take a look one more time. Sorry, I should have done one more thing. We're going to go to our performance page. Let me slide this down because you guys probably can't even see it. Again, Toliss screen, slide this over, and now I can select my runway and I can set myself up. It says 152 for my V1 speed, which I don't like when it's the same. That just makes me feel icky. I feel like it's wrong. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know, people. My flex temperature is 65, and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about anything else until we get to approach, and I have to put in the QNH. All right. So that is now done. We are technically set to go. I have no other issues except for the doors. All right. So now that we are technically ready to rock and roll, we will set up our panel here in a second, but we need to get everybody on the ground. We need to get ourselves ready to go. We need to get ready for pushback. We need to get this jetway away from our door. So let's go ahead and do a couple of those birds here. We'll come outside. I'm going to go ahead and say, thank you, sirs. I appreciate your ground services, but I've got to go ahead and close up these doors. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for the crackers and sodas you put on board. I don't know what I would do without you because I love myself some sodas. And then we're going to say, hey, guys, I think we're good. Cargo's good. Fuel is good. I'd like you to drive away. You guys have a wonderful day. All right, while they drive away, let's go ahead and set up our screen here, our panel. Okay, if we were to take a look at the departure, let's just go to our airports, and we'll go to our Memphis chart. And let's go here. We're going to be departing 18 center. So climb heading a 180. So you guys can see it. Climb heading 180, intercept course 214 to Cheeto, which is the best ever intersection, Cheeto, to Childer. And our top altitude is 5,000. Okay, so what that means to us, guys, is when we come over here, our top altitude is 5,000. That's what we put in the panel. That's what we do. All right, before we get pushed here, and you'll notice here the speed is automated, the heading is automated, because the flight computer will take care of basically anything else we need unless we want to do an alternative heading. So air traffic control can give that to us. They really could if they wanted to. But the best thing about this departure is it's got it notated. So 18 center's here. We're going to come out heading a 180. And then passing 860. Excuse me, not 860. Hold on. It doesn't have me do a term. Climbing 180, intercept 212 course to Cheeto. But what's the 212 course to Cheeto for? What I'm trying to figure out is, what am I basing that on? Okay, so basically after 180, after we head out the departure into the runway, we're gonna feel nice and nice and warm inside that we departed without any issues. We're gonna turn direct Cheeto. That's essentially what we're doing. And once it's on a 212 heading, trying to figure out how I would do that without any course mechanisms. I mean, I guess I could put the heading bug there, and then when the heading bug matches up where Cheeto is, that's when I make my turn. But I digress. Then we're going Muddo, Nixo, and then PPOC, Childer, and ANSA. After ANSA, that's when we go directly to our DFW's arrival point, which is Few. Then Proud, Leather, Neck, Sailor, Seaver, Birdie, Nuss, Yabbit the Rabbit, and then direct to our initial approach fix for 17 Center, which is Boss. Alright, everyone briefed on that. Everybody feel comfortable with our departure? Fantabulous. I appreciate your hard work and effort. Let's get up top. Our APU is on. Our APU bleed is on. Everything else looks fantastico. Let's turn on our non-smoking signs because this is something we do not deal with. Beacon is on. Wing light can stay off for now. Nav light can come on. Runway turnoffs and landings will stay off for the moment. Let's go ahead and get our push clearance. So this is going to be kind of loud, and I do apologize, guys. Let's... Where's my... Better push back.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
Alright, sir, I will. So where are we? We are on the east side, so we're going to come right here. We want to be going northbound. I believe that's northbound.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Fantastic. I love when my tow is coming. Alright, so while we're setting up here and we're waiting, again, we're going to double check. Memphis's altimeter shows... If I can get it to set up right. Memphis altimeter's 3002. Let's put that in. 3002. And then before we depart, we're going to go, well, we don't have to do the brakes yet, I guess. I'm going to do my spoilers up, my ignition switches to start. My parking brake is currently on. It will be turned off. We'll lock our door here. Can I even lock my door? Sweet. And I am technically ready to go. I'm just waiting on our ground crew.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Perfecto. Perfecto. Let's go ahead and disconnect this door. You can hear it beeping. Bye-bye. And then we'll get moving. Ooh, one more thing, guys. I forgot to tell you. We're going to go on VATSIM. My goodness, I completely forgot. Let me go ahead and connect. Yeah, that's not my call sign. I'm going to go 5242. And my flight plan is actually the exact same thing.
Welcome
So
aboard,
let's
Captain.
go.
Tow's connected. Bypass pins inserted.
Uh-huh.
Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
All right, well, I appreciate that, but I'm going to make sure I don't have Memphis Center on that I need to call for clearance. So give me just a second, ground control. I do apologize for the wait, and I apologize to everybody watching for the wait. Indy Center is on. No one else is on. Therefore, no effect on us. Let's go ahead and pop that parking brake, and back we go.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Yeah. We'll let it get pushed a little bit here, guys, and then I'll start the engines. And we'll try to go outside so we can hear what it sounds like when we start the engines. I do not have the BSS sound pack installed. I do have it. I just don't have it installed. Not yet. I had it when I was not using Vulkan, but I'm using Vulkan. And I just haven't installed it since getting everything re-updated onto the new computer that I stream on now. So it's just a matter of laziness, I guess. 'Cause I don't even think I've downloaded it from the org store yet. Alright. Let's get inside. Let's start these bad boys. Engine number 1. Coming on. Come on. Come on. There we go.
Just about done.
Fantastic.
Here, go ahead and set your parking brake.
Thank you. Appreciate it, sir. Let's get engine number 2 rocking and rolling.
And we're disconnecting, so give me just a moment.
Let's crawl a little closer. We'll try not to get sucked in by the intake. I want to disconnect.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Awesome sauce. Okay, everything's good. We're looking for the pin on the left-hand side. We'll slide up here real quick because I know he's gonna slide out in front of us. Fantastic. There he goes. Let's look for that pin. I'll double check, make sure we don't have any controllers on. We do not. We're on 122.8, so we are ready for Unicom departures. Thank you, sir. Great pin. I love it. Appreciate your time and your efforts. All right, we'll come back down. We got our spoilers armed. We are going to put our flaps in flaps 1. We are going to set our TCAS to active and on. Let's do 5242, same as our flight number for our squawk code. 5000 in the panel. Chrono on. Come up top. We're going to turn our APU off. Our strobe light can come on. Our runway turn off can come on. Our taxi lights can come on. And at this point, we are ready to go. I believe we're ready to go. Altimeter is set. Brakes can be applied to auto brake is maximum for departure. So when it pops up here, I'll be good to go. I can do the cabin call. And we should be set for our takeoff configuration. Wow, okay. Back to center. And, parking brake off. Man, I'm drinking these sodas and they're just giving me too much hot air. I'm not sure I like it. Alright, let's get out of here and listen to these engines. I kinda like doing this. I like doing this a lot. Come over here. Zoom in a bit. Slide down. I love doing that. Alright, so we're going to make a right-hand turn here at Kilo. And then we'll take Kilo, we'll turn left on Charlie, and we'll follow that to runway 18 center. Let's come up here, and here we go. Well, we don't want to turn too sharp. That's my yaw on this thing is just sensitive, and I haven't gotten it all worked out yet. At least that I felt comfortable. I have to be very careful with how I do the yaw on this aircraft, or else it really likes to turn that wheel completely left, and then I overshoot everything I'm trying to do. So, all right, we're here. Let's come back to our Memphis. There we go. I was like, please don't tell me I'm not in Memphis. All right, so we're on hotel. Yes. And then, oh no, that's not hotel, it's Charlie. So we are on Charlie, and after Charlie, we're gonna see these hold short notification here, and that's gonna be fine, not gonna be an issue. But we're gonna keep going all the way to Charlie 8, and we're gonna depart 18 center from Charlie 8 full length. There's those hold shorts. Gonna slow down our engines here, pull back on our engines a bit. Alright, cabin crew. I think we're coming up on Charlie 8 pretty quickly. Cabin crew, call? Yes. Takeoff config test before we get out of here, and it's a-okay. No alerts. And this is alpha. Dang it, I missed it again. Buggery duggery. So I did this flight the other day just to make sure I could test it and everything looks good. And I did this last time too. I did this. How do I repeat the same mistake twice? Jeez, man. It's like you don't learn, Mr. It's like you don't learn, Mr. Crew Socks. You don't learn. So here I am on Alpha, having to backtrack to 1.8 center like a dum-dum. My goodness. You think if I was a professional, they'd fire me. Most definitely, right? Like if I was a pro, they'd be like, yeah, you're out the door, dude. My goodness. See that? It's all like, Alright. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pop into Unicom. Memphis traffic, Northwest 5242, departing 18 center. Westbound departure, Memphis traffic. That way we know that they know we're going. I don't see anything on TCAS, so I don't believe there's any conflict that we need to worry about. We'll line up here. Cabin is ready. Chrono is on. We're ready to depart. Let's give it a little juice here. And throttle up. Auto throttle. Togo. And we're on the roll. Airspeed is alive. 80 knots. $120. B1 rotate. Rotado. And we're up. Very nice. We'll pitch. Then I'll apply some trim. There we go. Gear can come up. I'll make my right hand turn. And I'm going to reduce my visibility here so I have a better view of what I'm supposed to... Oh, there's the intercept. So it's not yet, my friend. Not yet. Autopilot wants us to do it. Flaps can start coming up. I think I'm in someone's airspace all of a sudden, but they're gonna have to wait because I'm departing. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Flaps are all the way up, and if you notice down on the right, it says ignition, because I may have forgotten to put the ignition mode selector on normal. So that is a good call out from the system. I'm gonna keep climbing. Actually, nope, it's not anybody online, so it's just a broadcast. So we're gonna keep climbing. And we're gonna climb to flight level 360. Alright. I'm gonna keep hand flying this for a minute, guys. Okay, we're coming up on the on 250 knots. I'm gonna pull some more aft pressure here to keep us from exceeding too far beyond 250 knots. And then, you know what? I will go nose down because I need to go to climb. I need to go to climb thrust, which is going to require me to reduce my nose attitude, which she seems to be doing just fine. When I get a chance, I'm going to go ahead and put on the autopilot here at Muddo. And then once I put on the autopilot at Muddo, we'll clean up the aircraft the rest of the way, including turning off, making sure the ignition goes to our normal mode selector, as opposed to what it's on now. That's my apologies, Mr. Airbus. My cousin minibus. Because it's not the baby bus, it's not the 318. And I guess many people would consider it the baby bus, right? There we go. We're past 10,000 feet, so we can build some speed here, which is what the flight director is wanting to do. Flight director wants us to nose down, build some speed. Not a problem. Alright, so now that I'm in the middle, I'll put autopilot on. We're gonna watch this speed rise to about 280. But while we're doing this, we'll go ahead ignition to normal since I had messed that up the first time. Stow our speed brakes. I forgot. See, guys, I really need to use the checklist. Ugh, goodness me. I never even turned on the landing lights like a dum-dum. See what I mean? Very unprofessional. Fired day one. Speed 279. I'll put that as 280. And we'll let the bus control the attitude. Attitude's going to increase. Attitude's going to increase as we climb. It's going to try to match 280. So we're going to go nose up here. It's going to start depleting that airspeed, and the nose will come back down to match the speed. Cool thing about this is I've got a nice little view outside of our window here. And then on the right hand side we got another nice little view. But it is partly cloudy. That's definitely scattered clouds throughout. So there's not a whole bunch to see, especially out front. It seems like the right hand side is a little bit cloudier, so we'll just keep it on the left hand side here for a little bit while we climb. Overall, not a bad departure. Not a bad departure at all. I'll come down here to the chat. Guys, if you want to chat with me, you can, not a problem. I try to answer and see it as much as possible. I don't have two monitors, so I will not see it quickly, unfortunately, but I will answer it if I do see it. If you're enjoying the content and you happen to be viewing for a little while and you like to see some more content, you can always check out the channel, but I would appreciate a like or a subscribe if you'd like continued access to the content. We do have a Discord. I am not currently on it, but I do have a Discord for you guys if you want to get in there and chat up. If you do become members, you can then get, or subscribers, if you become subscribers, you can get into voice access. All you have to do is become a subscriber. I see that you become a subscriber. And then from there, we get you into voice chat. You can kind of hang out with us while we're flying. I'm not on it today, but I normally would be. Discord's being funky for me right now. So as soon as I fix that, we'll be good to go. Look at that, guys. And just like that, passing 18,000 feet. Passing 18,000 feet. Let's come back into the cockpit. Pop those down real quick. We're going to go to standard altimeter. 29er, 9er 2. Double check our overhead. We are good. Wing lights are off. It's the daytime. We don't need them. All signs are good. No issues here. All signs are good. Very nice. We'll come back out to the wing. We'll hang out for a little bit longer. So I wanted to do this flight specifically because the other day we flew. What did we fly? Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart here, guys. Excuse me. The U.S. Airways Heritage livery that is on the American A321. So I loved U.S. Airways. I loved their final livery that they had, and I liked the livery because it was inspired by America West livery on their A319s, A320s. Out of Phoenix and when America West was still operating. So you can see sort of the similarities, right? You can see where they formed their idea of what the new U.S. Airways livery was going to be. Instead of the broad dark blue and just the little flag, they gave it flair. They gave it life. And I love that livery. And so that's when I started enjoying that livery, and I was like, yes, that's great. But there was one livery that I absolutely loved that I didn't learn about from America West, and that was Northwest livery. Not the shoebox red, not the red bar on the top, the gray, not that one, but their quote new livery, the gray with the logo NWA and the red tail, but not complete red tail. You know, that cut off, where it's cut off before it hits the actual fuselage. That livery is, I love it. That's why we're flying it today. That's why I was like, you know what? I want to find this livery for this aircraft. Okay. One thing I want you guys to notice, not ortho. I do not have ortho in this area, and I do apologize. I wish I did, but I do not. I do not have any more disk space, so I cannot add more ortho. I need to be careful with my disk space. So I don't have ortho here. At some point, we will transition into the ortho that I do have. I'm not 100% sure where that's going to be. So the wing views are going to be pretty plain until we get closer to Dallas Fort Worth, where I actually have ortho in that section of the world. I just don't fly a lot in the Ozarks. So Memphis, Tennessee, I should say Tennessee, Kentucky, I don't fly there a lot. So I just don't have ortho there. If you go a little further east, I've got ortho I have it for the Midwest, so like Ohio and stuff. I have it for like DC. I have not gotten the Northeast ortho yet. That's another one I don't fly a lot in New York, New Jersey, Boston. I don't go there a lot, so I don't have ortho there. I do have ortho along the southeastern U.S. coast, so South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and then I've got it for Texas and then the West, minus California. So basically Texas up to Oklahoma, then out to Colorado, Idaho, and Utah, and Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico. Like I said, minus California, I've got it. So the reason I took those away is I was going to pop out here. But again, we don't have ortho, so it's kind of, it's like lackluster, you know? If you guys don't already know, this is a special Sunday stream. Usually I'm normally streaming Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is my computer specs. Those are my computer specs. And of course, if you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe to the channel, so I know I'm doing a decent job for you. So you're enjoying the content itself. I know I'm new at it, but I'm trying to make a presentation and a product content that I would enjoy watching, and that's what I try to do for you guys. I know I'm not the most interesting person in the world, but I find it difficult to sit there and ask myself questions all the time. It happens. It's okay. I'm gonna keep pushing at it, and hopefully I get some subscribers. Hopefully I get some people who are chatting with me and making it more enjoyable, and additionally giving me something to feed off of when we're trying to talk. So I do have. Let's see. Well, we're at flight level 280. I noticed the contrails coming out, so we're at 280, 280. We're watching our speed down here. I'm looking for our aircraft to hit 0.79 or 0.80 as far as Mach speed. And then we're going to switch over to Mach, where the aircraft will then pitch to maintain that Mach speed as opposed to maintaining the whole 280 knots itself. At least that's what I'm looking to do here. I can't believe we're already at almost 30,000 feet and we're 17 minutes into the flight. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not superb, but it's not bad. I've had slower climbs before, especially in the A321. Alright, still no Still no U.S. air traffic controllers online. Northwest 5242 is pretty alone right now. There's no one really around. All right, nice. We're about 15 miles from our departure transition, our ANSA intersection. I guess while we're at it, let's go ahead and just double check everything. We'll go to our plan mode, pop this out, pop this up. Whoopsie, come on. And we'll go ahead and take a look at it. So we'll go to our flight plan page. Childers where we're coming from, answers where we're going to. And again, we have 12 miles until that intersection. We'll keep going. Few. And then after Few, which is 68 miles, we have our top of descent 54 miles after that. So Few is the first intersection for our arrival, for the Seaver 4 arrival. We will then move from Few to our top of descent, and then Proud. You can see our top of descent right here. Proud, Leather, Neck, Sailor, which those have speed restrictions. That's why they're circled. Seaver, Burgee, Nuss, Yabbit the Rabbit, Direct Bossy, Penny, Zing, Jiffy, and then the runway. So not too bad. Everything looks like it's all correct. Now, one thing we need to double check on are our altitude restrictions. Come over here, zoom in a bit. Let's go to our arrival. Alright, so I don't really have any major restrictions until we get to Seaver, which is between 16 and 13 at 270 knots. That's low end. 270 knots, low end. That's not too bad. That's okay. So Seaver's fine. Burgee at, let's call it 11 and a half at 250 knots. It's okay. That's got 250 knots. That's good. Nuss at 10,000 to 8,000. We're on the top end of that. But that's okay. 10,000, 8,000, 240. Good. Yabbit the Rabbit. He's 230 at 6,000. 230, 6,000. Whoopsie. And then we'll just make sure this is correct. We're expecting Bossy 6,000, Penny 5, Zing 3, Jiffy 2,300. Okay, it is all good. All right, I like that. Very nice. Pop back over here, go back to our arc mode. And we'll come back out to the wing where there's absolutely nothing to look at. Thank you, cloud cover. Much appreciated. One thing we'll notice is we are getting to Mach decimal 794, so we'll just keep a quick eye on that. We'll pop back over when it's 799 and 80. Should be like within the next 30 seconds or so, depending. $796. Is the other side of the aircraft look just washed out? Man. Could we not get overcast skies, people? Like, we want to enjoy our flight. Alright, we're at 0.80. We'll go ahead and hit our speed Mach, which we just did. Notice it changed to Mach decimal 80. Now the aircraft is going to fly that until we get to flight level 360. We're going to keep it there just like that. When we hit our descent, we're going to enter in our descent altitude, which in this case, the firm altitude we actually have is 6,000. So we'll hit on our firm altitude of 6,000. Then we will come back over and hit our speed Mach number so that we can put it back to computer control as opposed to pilot control. When we do that, it'll allow the aircraft to descend within the profile it needs to. And that's sort of how I fly the bus. Sometimes I'll let it be computer controlled no matter what, but there are anomalies, I guess, and I mess up. Maybe I'm too dumb, and the MCDU, what I set in MCDU for speed, isn't what it does. It does like 0.75 or 0.74, and I can't figure out a better way to fix that. I really can't. I know cost index has something to do with it, but I don't. I should be able to override it, and it doesn't appear to work that way. Again, put a like down at the bottom if you haven't already, if you're enjoying the content. Don't forget to subscribe if you like to. I don't use Stream Deck. Stream Deck, not the Stream Deck, but Streamlabs. I hear it's free. Does anybody out there have experience with Streamlabs for OBS? Or is it OBS for Streamlabs? I'm not sure how it works. I use OBS for my streaming, and I've heard that Streamlabs is good because there's like some auto notification things like subscribers that come in, people who like the video show up, that sort of stuff. I don't know how to set all that up in OBS. I'd like to do my own little notifications and stuff, but I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know if I can set that up in OBS by itself or if I need to use Streamlabs. I'm sure there are good videos out there. I hadn't had a chance to check them out and figure it out. And I figure maybe one of you out there actually knows it because they use it. That's what I find most interesting about our community, is that there are people like me who stream, who are essentially brand new to streaming. I've got like 7 videos. Brand new to streaming, but we go and we watch other streamers. We enjoy watching other people's content. We enjoy being a part of a larger community as opposed to sort of being isolated and only doing our own thing. And it's true whether you're me or whether you're one of the big streamers. Every streamer watches other people's content, which is the greatest thing. So let me know if you're a content creator, if you stream yourself. Let me know what your handle is. Tell me if you do it through Twitch or whether you do it here through YouTube. I prefer YouTube. I don't use Twitch. Let me know if you do it through Facebook. Maybe you simulcast. Maybe you do both. Maybe you're on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Let me know what you guys do. I'd like to know about who's stopping by. You know, if you're stopping by and you're a streamer, I'd like to know about it. Because I want to watch your content too. I want to see what you're up to. I want to see how you fly. See how you deal with situations. I think if I watch your content, I'll learn more each day. And I feel the same way about you. I may do something that you're like, oh, okay. I mean, that's not likely. I am not the smartest person in the world, so therefore I most likely do not do things correctly. Case in point, here. Case in point, I forgot the landing lights when we departed. That's like rule number 1. But still, you know, the opportunity is there to learn something new, and that's why I want to watch others. I watch a couple now. I enjoy their streams, but you know, sometimes you want to watch someone new. You want to hear somebody else's perspective or learn about somebody new. And that's another thing that you can do here. You can just simply learn about somebody. You can simply become friends over a computer screen, right? You learn about my wife. You learn about my kids. You learn about my daily struggles. You know, you learn what I do for a living. You learn what my kids are going through. You hear my life experiences. Hopefully, the longer I do this, the more you would learn. And if you're interested enough, you begin to learn about me and know me, and then vice versa. You know, if you're on here in the chat room and we're discussing a prudent point about something, and you have a differing opinion, and we're discussing it, then there's nothing greater than that. You know, even if we're in agreement, there's still nothing greater than that conversation, learning somebody else's perspective and understanding of things. So that's really what drives me here. Is I want to learn people. I want to share. I want to share what I have, but also get to know you guys, people who do the same thing I do, which is you get on the computer when you're free from, you know, your daily grind. You come here for an escape. You come here for a hobby, something you enjoy, something you love, but it's an escape from everything else that you have to deal with during the day. Or maybe you come here because you're fine-tuning your skills and you love aviation because you live the aviation life. That's fine too. Either way, you have this insatiable need to be in this hobby or in this industry. And by industry, I mean you have to be around aviation all the time. You have this insatiable need, and this is where you come to satisfy that need. And that's what we all do. We all come here to do the same thing. We all do. We all have our own little quirks, and that's what makes this entire community unique. You know, we'll have software engineers to students to teachers to bigwigs and stuff like that. Like, I got a guy who works down in the city, and then another guy who works at the airport, another guy who's, you got several YouTubers that are actual pilots that are just doing this in their off time for pure enjoyment. Most likely because they're the first officer and they've got to do all these checks. And they want to be the pilot in command and share that knowledge with you. We have to be careful, though, how they share that knowledge with you. They can never say they're teaching you about it, because that could be an issue, right? But they're giving you insight into real operations, into how it works in the real world. And that's perspective those of us who are on the outside and not in the industry will never have. We'll never have that perspective of real life application of what we know about the simulator and about the aircraft and aviation in general. So while we're sitting here in cruise, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about myself. In case this is your first time hanging out with me and enjoying our flight here. Are we still like clouds everywhere? My goodness. Oh, it's a little bit better. We'll stay here. So, a little bit about myself. Cruise Talks Aviator is a father of three. I've got an 11-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old. I work in logistics, specifically container logistics for one of the world's largest container logistic carriers, ocean carriers. I currently manage their cargo, and not their cargo, but specifically about 8, almost 9 customers. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when you actually break it down by each container, we're talking hundreds upon hundreds of containers that are moving each week, and I'm tasked with making sure that moves effectively and efficiently across our network. So I deal with their containers and I deal with the customers themselves. So I am that front-facing, customer-facing piece. I also get to learn the ins and outs of our actual business, and so I make it a little more efficient for the customer to deal with us on a day-to-day basis. I've been doing that for about almost 2 years now, and that's not a very long time. But it was the first, what I like to call, big boy job that I had. And it's been a true blessing. It was seriously a God moment finding this job, getting into this job, and being in the position that I am now. I certainly don't deserve any of the blessings that I have, but I certainly am blessed. There's no doubt about it. God has a huge benefit and impact in my life, and He has never shied away from giving me what I need when I need it, and making me aware of that. So there's not a day that goes by that I don't thank the Lord for everything that He's done for me. And whether you believe in God or not, and if you do believe in God, I'm sure you do the same. So I've been doing that job for about 2 years now. We're coming up on it. We actually have a new client coming in, which I'm really, really excited about. That will be a lot of fun. And mainly because all of the stuff I'm dealing with now are a lot of imports of containers and things coming in to the United States and not out. So the new customer we're going to have is allowing me to use the other side of my brain and start doing more exporting of containers out of the U.S. to other locations around the world. And that'll be really fun and exciting for me. It's going to be a challenge because it's something that I have, it's a skill that I hadn't used in the better half of a year. But it's a skill that I haven't forgotten. It's rusty, very much like my air traffic control skills. Very much like my skills on any given aircraft that I haven't flown for a while. But I'm really excited about it. I'm excited that I'm going to be able to jump in the driver's seat and do something a little bit different, provide a better service for that customer, and, keep our company moving, even with the times that we're in right now. How is everyone else making it through COVID? Is everybody doing okay? Our family is doing just fine. I know you see these posts, it's like, I don't know anybody who has COVID. I've never even met anybody with COVID. Why is this a big deal? Well, it's a big deal for us for this reason. My mother-in-law lives down the street. Ooh, there's thunder. I don't know if you guys could hear that. My mother-in-law lives down the street from us. Okay? She moved here from Tennessee with her husband, who is not my father-in-law. Does that make sense? So they're divorced. She remarried. This is her new husband. Anyway, I say that like it was like Tuesday when they got married. No. This is her second husband. Anyway, point is, they live down the street from us. Mostly they came in here like my father did when he wanted to move just a little bit closer to be around the grandkids. Grandkids give them joy and pleasure that they've never known. So being able to take the kids, play with them, give them all the bad things, and send them back to mom and dad is the best feeling in the entire world. So that's what they like to do. So they live close to us for that specific reason. Well, my brother-in-law also lives with them. My brother-in-law lives with them because they are older, right? They are more prone to sickness. They are more prone to falls, surgeries, that sort of thing. Both mother-in-law and stepfather-in-law. That work? Is that a real thing? Anyway, they are prone to sickness. They are prone to getting injured, that sort of thing. They're older. They are what we call geriatrics. They're old people. Well, during the normal school year, when I am working and my wife is working, we have my brother-in-law come over and watch the kids after school. The reason COVID is a big deal for us is, can you imagine if my healthy young kids got exposed, or I got exposed at work, or my wife got exposed at work? We then came home, gave it to each other, but really didn't affect us, right? Because a lot of these patients aren't getting all these symptoms. They're not experiencing the virus the way the most traumatic patients are. My goodness. They're not experiencing it the way the most traumatic patients are. So say I had like the sniffles, or I had a minor cough and I thought it was nothing. The kids got it. They showed no symptoms or signs, because most kids are not showing symptoms and signs of COVID. And then my brother-in-law came over to watch them and got sick. He got it. Again, he's young. He's pretty healthy. So probably not a big issue for him. So again, he goes home and he feels fine. But then I have my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, who are now prone to get sickness, prone to getting sicknesses. They're prone to getting injuries. They're older. They're the ones that now are going to get this virus. They're the ones who are now, they are diabetic, so they are in a much higher risk group than I am, my kids are, or even their uncle is. So that's why it's a big deal for us. We've kept Uncle away, and he will not be returning to our house to watch the kids until it's truly safe to do so. And I was talking with the wife, and I said, I hope you realize this means he's not coming back until there's a vaccine of some sort, something that they can go and take at the doctors. I'm not sure it's safe to do so. I don't know. Just because we don't know anybody today with it doesn't mean we won't know somebody tomorrow with it. Well, that we won't know somebody 2 weeks from now, or when the fall comes back and we have higher cases due to seasonal allergies and seasonal sniffles anyway. Who's to say we won't feel it at that time? Who's to say we won't know somebody then? And it's still going to be just as important then as it is now. So that's sort of how we're doing. I'd like to know how you guys are doing. How are you guys keeping up? Are you guys, has your life changed at all? Are you guys staying home? Are you guys one of the few percentage people, a few percent of our population that has to go to work? You're essential. You have to be working. You're a firefighter. You're a paramedic. You're a doctor. You're a nurse. You're garbage men, right? These are mandatories. You're garbage men. You work at the water facility plant. Maybe you work at the police department. Maybe you're administrative. Excuse me. What do you guys do? What's your experience through this? Are you one of the few that are able to work from home? Because if so, count ourselves blessed here, right? All right, fantastic, guys. Look at that. We're coming up on our top of descent here in the next 13 miles or so. So let's go ahead and pop back down into our cockpit. Yum. Let's come over to our flight management computer, and we're going to go to our performance, next phase, and we're going to put in our descent data. I do have to go to the other screen real quick to pull that information, so I do apologize. You're going to stare at that screen for a second while I get this done. Dallas-Fort Worth, 180 at 16. Temperature 28, altimeter 29er86. 29er86. Temperature 28. Wind, I did not remember. Wind is, once again, 180 at 16. 180 at 16. Okay, we'll put that in. 180 at 16. Okay, we'll come over here. What's our decision height here? Let's do it. We'll probably do a Cat 2. So let's say it's 100 feet. Decision height is 100 feet. And we're going to do a full approach. So full flaps. Okay. So that information is now in. We're coming up on our top of descent. Just past it. Let's put some speed brakes in there, so we can kind of get this aircraft to slow down and regain traction on the ball. See, the ball is down here. We want this aircraft to match that ball, which is our descent path. Okay? So it's doing that now. We're going to monitor it, so when it matches back up with the ball, we can pull the spoilers back. We can put them back. Okay, we're going to arm them. And now the flight path should be able to match up nicely without overspeeding or getting too slow here. All right. Fantastic. Since we are going to be, notice how I already set the panel up here, 6,000 feet. We're going to come back. Our altimeter is 29086. Let's match that up. 29086. So it is here. It is cross-referenced over on the other one. And we are good to go. Let's continue our descent. So we are about 1 mile from Proud. Then we have Leather, where I believe we have altitude, if not speed restrictions. Very nice. It's still absolutely nothing to see out here at all. I think that's absolutely crazy. How can it be? So I like soda. I just drank one Pepsi. Here's another. And I'll finish this while we're inbound. I mean, I just wish there was something to see. Something for you guys to look at as we're descending. This is just torturous. There's absolutely nothing out there. I mean, this is what you would see as a pilot or as a passenger, but at least as a passenger you have a book or a laptop or something you're playing on or dealing with. Shoot, you're sleeping. But in terms of virtual entertainment, you know, you should be able to see things. You should be able to experience the flight. You're like, wow, we were above clouds forever and a day. You know, it's not exactly fun for you guys. So we're dropping at 3,800 feet a minute, 3,700, 36. Cool, coming back up because we got that ball ahead of us. So you're going to notice the engines are going to start roaring back up again. They're going to roar up because we want to keep that high speed of 320 knots, that range. And you'll see on the display here, there's a range that the aircraft will stay, an envelope, so to speak. So within this envelope is good for our descent profile. So you'll see the aircraft stay within that envelope most of the time. As it goes to the top of the envelope, regardless of where this ball is, the Airbus will pitch up or down to keep us within that envelope, regardless of where the ball is. So it's the one, I guess, fail-safe that they have that allows us to sort of keep from overspeeding in the aircraft itself. So the engines just cut out. They didn't turn off. They went back to idle. And you see our speed is dropping because our pitch has changed. We're now only at 1,000 feet a minute. And we're reducing our speed. So it's going back down again. Notice how it's not able to continue to decelerate. You're going to probably see it start to accelerate. It's barely decelerating. Barely. So this is a time where we would actually probably put in a little bit. We'd probably go back and put in some speed brakes. But it looks like it's doing okay. I don't think by the time I put in speed brakes, it's already going to be within the envelope. I'm not going to worry about it. Very nice. Let's see what it sounds like outside. Absolutely nothing but whiteness. There's white everywhere. At least there's some contrast now, right? Do a flyby. Man, I cannot understand why there's so many clouds. Just so many clouds. Then again, it was raining here, so I guess it's not abnormal, but you know, it is what it is. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys probably can't even hear that thunder, but it's loud. It's loud thunder, man. Come back to the chat. See if anybody has chatted us up. We're not doing too bad here, guys. It's a good flight. Nice, solid flight. Throttles are at idle. We are on our descent path. We're keeping that ball pretty square where it needs to be. We are within the speed envelope that the aircraft needs to be at. We're passing through 20,000 feet. We are inbound for 6,000 feet. That is our current setting. As we get closer, I will then drop that down to our minimum, which is 100 feet above. Should be 200 some odd feet. So decision altitude, we'll put it at 662 feet. Okay. That's what we'll put it at. We'll put it at about 600 feet. And then as we get to that altitude, we'll make sure that we are manually flying. And we'll take it on into the, on down to the runway. Now, I will say this now. I am not great at landing this aircraft. It's either nice or I plow into the runway. I don't know which one we're going to do. I've tried many a times to get better at it. I do not know why I have such an issue with Airbus. I think it's because I flew Boeing for so long, and the ground effect of Boeing is so much more drastic that I just have a difficult time adjusting to the higher center of gravity and the lack of ground effect that the Airbus truly has. Because that higher lift that it has, that higher separation between ground and the bottom of the wing, which Airbus is known for because it's so tall, it's so drastic that I cannot run them into the runway. I don't mean to, but I do. I think I did the last flight I did with an Airbus. You might be able to go back and watch it. I think one was like 700, and then one was like 85. As far as my negative feet per minute on my landing rate. So there's a huge difference there, right? I'm either plowing it in and bending the struts of the aircraft, or I am kissing the ground and doing fantabulous. I don't know which one it's going to be today. Like if my flight ends anything like it began, where I missed the runway and probably got fired, it's probably gonna be a smash. So speaking of that, hit that thumbs up button for me if you don't mind. Like the video if you're enjoying the content. Subscribe if you'd like access to more content as it comes out. Hit the notification bell if you want to know about it immediately. So if you want to know when we're going live, it'll tell you. But I can tell you now, it's every Saturday, 10 a.m. Okay? Last few weeks been kind of iffy. I'll tell you this. My mother passed away a few years ago. And it was just me and my dad in the area still. My brother's out in some other part of Texas. Right now he's in what's called Portland. And that is basically the valley near Corpus Christi. Okay? So, it's just me and my dad. And when my mom passed, it's not a duty, but it's not a duty or an obligation, but I want to make sure that my dad's okay. You know? I want to keep track of him, talk to him, be around, that sort of thing. Any civilized person would want to do this. Anyway, there was me, my dad, and then my dad had his dog. His dog is his life. He lived for that dog. Gave that dog everything he wanted. Like it was a grandchild that got spoiled every day, right? Well, he got old, and he got put down last Saturday. Dad was like, hey, can you help take me to the vet's office? I've got to put him down. Well, I had planned to do a stream. I had planned to do a flight like this or one of the other many flights that I planned to do. And it just, I could not tell myself that streaming was more important than helping him in a time where he truly needed it. No one wants to put down a family member like that. No one looks forward to that day. So how could I sit there and say to him, I'd like to, Dad, but I can't find the time between my simulation game and streaming and helping you. Well, I couldn't do that. He needs that support. There is no one else there to help support. So I went with him, and we put the dog down, and I'm absolutely glad I went. Absolutely glad. There's not a doubt in my mind that I made the right decision to forego doing any streaming that weekend and just have him over. We went and put the dog down. He broke down like I thought he would, even though he tries to act like a big guy, but he's not. Not for that dog, at least. You know what I mean? He's strong elsewhere. He's strong-willed, strong-powered everywhere else, but that dog meant a lot to him. So he broke down like I thought he would. And then I took him home. And as I was leaving his house and I left the neighborhood, I called my wife. And she was at home with the kids. She planned on, going out and, she planned on going out and doing some outside hustle work, you would call it. And she said, I'll stay home with the kids. I'll stay home with the kids. Go spend the day with your dad. I thought about it. And I said, no, why should that interrupt your day? I turned my car around. I called my dad. And I said, you're coming over to my place. So he came over to my place. I bought beer along the way. A lot of it. I bought gin. We bought limes. Because his drink is gin with lime. And we sat all day chatting, watching movies, and drinking. He spent the night that night because I wasn't in a position to take him home, and he wasn't in a position to take himself home. And we just enjoyed each other's company. No real plan. And I think that meant the world to him. Allowed him to keep him from thinking too much about it. Having the grandkids around, he was able to laugh and play with them. And I think that helped deal with the situation at hand. So I'm very happy that I did that. That is why I was not here last Saturday. And I don't regret it. I don't think anyone would fault me for that at all. Alright, we're below 10,000 feet. Guess what that means? Let's actually do it correctly. We'll turn on our landing lights, nose lights, runway turn-off lights. All lights are ready to go. People can see us. Additionally, we've got that done. We've got our ground spoiler armed. Right? That's what we've got. We're going to put on our brake, which is on low, because I don't need it on high. Or max, as they call it. We are coming up at 6,000 feet. Who is that? Okay, good deal. There is no center online. There's no tower online. There's nothing, so we don't have to worry about any of that. We're coming up on 8,400. We're at 6,000 here. We'll go ahead and check our flight plan one more time. What is our typical crossing altitude? Our final approach fix is 2,300. We'll go ahead and put that in. 2,000. I'm always a little off on these. 2,300. So now we've got our approach in there. We'll arm the ILS so we know when it gets picked up. And we're going to let this bad boy continue to come in and continue its approach here. After Yabbit, we're going to level off. And then once we level off at Yabbit, we'll hit Bossy. Once we hit Bossy, I'll probably go ahead and throw in my first set of flaps, because now we'll be getting ready to hit the descent profile of the ILS. When we actually hit the glide slope and we initialize the glide slope, we'll try to make sure that we're in at least a flaps 2 setting. And then as we get towards Zing, we will make sure that we get our gear down. We get into flaps 3 and flaps 4, and we are ready for our landing for runway 17 center. But until then, let's go ahead and move our notification here out about 40 miles. So we see we're about 25 miles out from the airport. Okay? So we'll go ahead and give that a call on Unicom, let everybody know where we are, who we are, that sort of thing. Okay? Dallas-Fort Worth area traffic. Northwest 5242. 25 miles to the northeast, crossing Yabbit intersection. At 6,400. Planning runway 17 center. Full stop. Dallas-Fort Worth. So we are good. That was a nice burp, right? So I apologize for that. We're a little far out at 6,000 feet. They may or may not have heard us. Notice how he came by. He came across pretty broken to us, right? So we got to be careful that's not happening to us and that others may not have heard us. So as we get into Bossy, we're actually going to give another call at Bossy and let them know we're coming in on final. What I find interesting about this entire flight is I had about 6 knots of a headwind at flight level 360. But down here, we've got 198 at 28. So the wind here at 6,000 is hella strong compared to what it is at flight level 360. That's crazy sauce. Let's get back out this window. Now this is ortho scenery. I told you I had Dallas-Fort Worth. I knew I had that. So we were good there. I like that we're about 210. Does mean we're going a little bit slower. I don't see anybody in TCAS for us to worry too much about. I don't think we have anybody. We had somebody just north of downtown at Love Field, but he's not going to be a factor for us. If he's departing, he's certainly not going to be a factor. He'll fly up and far out of the airspace before we have to worry about being in conflict with him at all. Let's go to the other side. If you haven't already, and you like the stream, guys, I'm sorry. This is really difficult to ask people to do. I mean, it doesn't pop at the top of my head to say, hey, if you like the stream, please hit the like button, subscribe if you want further content. But that's exactly what I have to do. So if you are enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you want access to continued content, and then hit the bell notification if you want to know about it when it happens. So if you want to be live with us immediately, that's what you got to do. All right, so we notice that we have picked up the ILS itself, and we do see that glide slope slowly creeping down. We'll get back in the cockpit so we can arm the localizer. There's the localizer. And then while we're here, we'll go ahead and arm the actual approach since we're at the glide. So we're arming the approach, we've armed the localizer, we're actually on the glide. You see the aircraft descending. We see that shown here under speed. Glide slope is captured, localizer captured. Now we're going to match that localizer. And at this point, the aircraft is just waiting for us to put in our flaps. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and come over this side and we'll go flaps 1. Now that we're back over here, we are going to give another call. Dallas Fort Worth traffic, northwest 5242, 15 miles, 15 mile final, runway 17 center, Dallas Fort Worth traffic. Well, that was scary. Like, I couldn't tell what was going on. I thought we were about to crash, guys. Those clouds are coming in on a wonkiness. All right. So we are now officially on the glide slope. Let's pop down our visibility here. Let's slow it down a little bit. All right. We will then be able to... We're at Penny. So we're going to give it a little bit before we put in the next set of flaps. Now we're just sitting on the ILS itself, which is fantastic. Should be able to see the runway straight ahead of us, and we do. It's right there. Put these back up. I keep those large because the flight data is very difficult to see in this aircraft. And since I'm looking forward anyway, it's not that big of a deal to keep them large. You know, it gives you a better perspective of what the aircraft is actually doing.
Forward traffic, American 2079, departing 178, straight out.
Okay, so we got departing traffic down there on the ground. I wonder if we can see him. We're at Zing, so let's go ahead and put in our second degree of flap here. And of course, I would accidentally overspeed, thinking that we were below our minimum for our speed, or below the maximum for the speed. All right, so now we don't have that much time, so we are going to pop these down. Gonna zoom in real quick. 17 right. I don't see anybody departing. I wonder if I just can't see traffic, because that wouldn't be cool if I'm not able to see traffic. All right, come on, come on, come on, come on. I've got... Okay, gear down, as we're at Jiffy. It's going to create some additional drag. A lot of additional drag, if you notice. Cabin, check the cabin, forward and aft. Flaps, not full yet. Flaps 3. Dallas forward traffic, northwest 5242, A319, 5 mile final, runway 17 center, Dallas forward. There we go, and there we go. All right. There we go. So we give the auto throttle back to the aircraft. I know, calm down. Okay, we give the auto throttle back to the aircraft. The aircraft is going to continue to find that glide and stay on the glide. We're within about 3 miles. So this is what we like to call short final for the runway. I'm at 1,400 feet. I'm still hands off for right now. Alright guys, and so for right now I'm gonna kind of shut up and we're gonna land this aircraft.
500. 4. 300. 100 above. 200. Minimum. 50. 40. 30. Retard. 10. 5.
Alright, full reverse. Let that nose wheel come down nice and gently. Very nice. We are decelerating. Full reverse thrust. 100. 90 knots. 80 knots. And stow the reversers. We'll get our brake off here, but we'll actually be able to exit. Not a problem. We're at a speed where we can do so safely. Okay, we are exiting here on, what are we at? You can't see it. Mic 3. Okay, we're at Mic 3. Alright, we are clear of the runway. We'll make that call. That was forward traffic, Northwest 5242, clear of runway 17 center. Plan to cross runway 17 right at Kilo. I think that's Kilo. Let's see. It's Kilo 8. Is anyone going to call me out on it? Alright, let's go ahead and clean up the aircraft here. Okay, there we go. Okay, I've got that done. Let me go ahead and pause here for a second. I don't see anybody. Okay. South forward traffic. Northwest 5242 crossing 17 right at Kilo 8. Let's cross. Do it quickly. I don't see anybody, which leads me to believe I don't think I'm able to see traffic right now. Which is odd because I used to be able to see VATSIM traffic. So I'm starting to wonder if my CSLs are being funky again. I might have to check those out. Because that guy who was departing 17 right, I think we should have been able to see him. You know? But we weren't. We weren't able to see him. Where do we want to go, guys? We want to go over here? Okay. Go over here. Because why not, right? I don't really care where we park. I usually would go into the very first bay. I usually don't care too much about it. Excuse me, BMW. We're a plane full of passengers now. Get out of our way. I'm not at all worried about realism here. Why are there so many BMWs? There we go. There we go. Okay. Alright, let me get out of the aircraft here so we can see. Alright, pull in. Zoom in. All right. Oh, we made it. All right. Parking brake is on. And what we're going to do is let's go ahead and disconnect. And let's take a look at our, let's go backwards a little bit. And we'll take a look at our flight. We'll see what it was like. We'll do a couple views of that. See what our landing was like. Was it a good landing, guys? Because I don't see the vertical speed until we do replays. So I don't see it at that moment. Oh, my brake fan is hot. Whoops. I do like how quickly this aircraft can decelerate. Like, one thing I notice is when I put in that reverse thrust, it's like it slows down quick. Real quick. Which I like. What did I get? Did I get the 1,000-foot markers? I don't know. We'll see.
300.
Let's go here. Not bad. That's a normal landing. Negative 158. That's nothing to be shy about. That's not bad at all. That is a normal landing. It's fairly butter if you ask me. I know some people wouldn't say it's buttered, but I think it would be. Let's go to the other side. Oh, you can just tell by the way the shadow like gently gets touched, like boop. Oh, that was nice. I actually like that landing a lot, guys. I like that a lot. I think that was a decent landing. I really do. We'll go back. We'll take another look. Meow. What should we do, like an engine view? Let's do the front engine view. Yeah, that's this one. Not bad. Still within the touchdown zone. I'm happy with that. I truly am. I'm happy with it. As long as it's within the touchdown zone, I'm always happy with it. Let's go back and do another shot, huh? This time, let's do from like here. There we go. There you go. You stay out there. Okay. Let's come off here a little bit. I know we were like here when we didn't. No, we touched down right about here. Zoom in and let's watch her come down. I think I did a good job touching down here. I really do. Oh, center line of greatness. Oh, that was beautiful. You cannot tell me that wasn't beautiful. That really was. Oh, that was nice. Oh, that's the cut. That is. Oh, see, I told you, man. I either smash it or it's a great landing. And in this time, it just happened to be the great landing. That look good. I like that view, and I'll tell you why. Because you can see the small corrections I'm making, both aileron-wise and rudder-wise, as I'm correcting even my own mistakes. Oh man, that looked good. Go one more time. Let's see, what kind of view do we want? Do we want like tower view, or do we want like runway view? That's tower view. Have to zoom all the way in here. Oh, I think like one little tug would have made this a nice little touchdown. But you know, you don't want to float it forever and a day. So, you know, it is what it is. All right. Let's hop back in. We'll go this way. I'm really happy with that landing. I truly am. I think it was really decent. I'm not unhappy with it at all. I'm really not. All right, guys. So I want to say thank you so much. We've been live here for about 2 hours. That's a good flight. I thoroughly enjoyed this Memphis to Dallas-Fort Worth flight. We were Northwest 5242 in an A319, and I absolutely love this livery. It's such a beautiful aircraft, and I'm so glad that if you took the time to hang out with me and enjoy this flight with me, I am forever in your debt. Thank you so much. If you like the content, you want to encourage me to do more content, because that's kind of what we need, is a little mutual encouragement. Hit that like button. If you want to see more of the content as it comes out, or you want to not have to search around for it forever, you can go to the subscribe button, subscribe. And then if you'd like to know exactly when things are going to happen, you know, if you'd like to know exactly when the next live stream's coming up, or you want to see if I'm just randomly on doing something else, hit that bell notification. It'll let you know when Crew Socks Aviator is live and hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will be back Saturday, 10 a.m. Another flight. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. I'm always open to suggestions. You can go to the YouTube page, go to the communication, and drop in some comments there if you'd like. You can certainly go to the Discord page. You can go to Discord and simply ask there as well. That's not a problem. I will take flight requests. I have no problem doing that. If you guys want to go to Discord, that's there now. I'll put that on the comments. And then, of course, in the chat, there's the specs, so you know what my computer's running. I do run a single system. I don't run two different things. So, you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time here on Crew Socks Aviator.